Hello again, fellow YouTubers and fellow Bond fans. Solomon Pleasant back for another James Bond movie review. Now, if you've seen my most recent uploads, which were like a week ago at least, try not to date this video, but the name of Solomon Pleasant is going to be changed soon. So, we're going to finish the Bond movie reviews under the name of Solomon Pleasant, and then at the end of the last Bond movie review, we're going to change the name. I'm going to try to say that in every video, including this one and after this one, until the name is changed. Please comment below and tell me exactly what you would want the new name to be. Give me suggestions. If I don't get any suggestions, I'll just choose something that I want, and it'll probably be ridiculous as now. Regardless. Anyway, and also these uploads and videos are just going to come out much slower than before because it's not summertime anymore and I'm back in school. So I have less time to do that. Anyway, today we are going to be reviewing Tomorrow Never Dies, the second in the Pierce Brosnan Bond films. So, let's not waste any time and dive right into Tomorrow Never Dies. So, let's start with the story, and the story is pretty original and pretty good, actually. Basically, the villain, Elliot Kava, is basically creating a war between China and Britain. And he's basically pitting them against each other, and what does he get out of all this? He gets exclusive news coverage. I really like this story, actually, because it seems like something that could hit very home with all the propaganda and everything. And it just is very original and takes off of the whole nuclear warheads everything and is very much a game of chess almost. It's just a really good story setup. And they explain everything really well in the movie. I'm not going to try to spoil as much here, which I try not to do in most of my videos. I just spoil some of the things. But the story itself is pretty good, so for that reason, I give it a star. Moving on to... crap, I haven't done this forever. Scenery. There we go. Scenery is, again, really good, and everything looks well. Most of this takes place around in China, I think, and it looks pretty much like China. The battle scenes look very nice. The parts where Bond is infiltrating Miss Elliot Carver's newspaper area, all that area looks nice, and everything is shot really well. So for that reason, I give scenery a star, because everything looks really good. Moving on to follow-up. This film is good, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't follow up GoldenEye. It just doesn't. I mean, GoldenEye was amazing and had a big shoes to fill for the next film. Tomorrow Never Dies doesn't fully do that. It just doesn't. Not saying that the film is bad, it's just Tomorrow Never Dies just doesn't have that oomph that GoldenEye did. GoldenEye revived the Bond franchise, and you can't really top that. You can't. So for that reason, I give follow-up a half a star, purely because GoldenEye was just so much better. Moving on to theme song. And I should probably make an honorable mention. This film actually has two songs worth noting. And I'm going to talk about the end credits song first, which is Surrender, which was supposed to be, I think was supposed to be the original theme for Tomorrow Never Dies. And it's a really good song. I actually really like it, but it's not the official Bond theme, so I cannot necessarily give that a rating because it's not the official one. Although I will say the official Bond theme, Tomorrow Never Dies, is actually pretty good. And is very nice to listen to. It's up there with GoldenEye and Goldfinger. It's a bit up there. It's not in my top 5 favorites, but it's at least up there enough. So, even with both songs being really good and just Tomorrow Never Dies on its own being pretty good, I give that a star, because I think the music works well here. Finally, moving on to characters. There are a lot of characters in this film. Pierce Brosnan is Bond. Good job. Bond girl, Wai Lin, I believe she is. That's the main Bond girl. There's also another Bond girl that gets killed off halfway through the movie, so she doesn't really leave an impact on me. But Wai Lin actually does an okay job as a Bond girl because she actually does some stuff. She's another one of those secret agents. She's a lot like Triple X, except she has a reason for being there. And she isn't really sore at Bond like Triple X was. Triple X had no real story arc. At least Wai Lin has some form of story arc. She's there for the Chinese government. Pretty simple. Now, granted, she gets a sort of, during the third act, she gets captured. And you see in, like, the second act, her beating the crap out of a bunch of people, but eventually she gets captured. With Bond. So, she gets captured a lot. Which I find kind of odd. And then Bond has to go rescue her, which doesn't make much sense, but at the same time, I can't really hammer her for it. MI6 does a good job in this film. Q does a good job in this film. Henchmen. And villains and whatnot. Elliot Kava is a really good villain. He just plays the villain really well. And you can just see that he's a Bond villain. At the same time, you could see him as somebody running a news company. So he does a pretty good job. His henchmen. Now, his henchmen don't do that much in this film. Except for Stamper. Stamper's the stereotypical blonde, buff henchman that just kills everybody. So he does stuff, but he's pretty bland. There is Dr. Kaufman, who is only around for a small amount of time, which is understandable, but at the same time kind of sad because he doesn't do that much. He kills Carver's wife and then it's killed by Bond. He doesn't do that much. And Henry Gupta is the other henchman. He does legitimately nothing through this film. He's just there to be the techie and then he gets shot at the end. He does almost legitimately nothing. But as it stands, the cast is still really good, despite the fact that you have henchmen that just kind of have small parts or do almost nothing. So for that reason, I give characters a star, because for the most part, they do a pretty good job. So all in all, Tomorrow Never Dies gets a 9.5 or a 4 for those of you keeping score at home. So, sweet, we are down. We only have 5 more to do after this. So, this has been Solomon Pleasant. What is next time? Alright. This will be interesting. This has been Solomon Pleasant. Signing off.